Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply. How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
What would you like to do? It's the question that every DM asks every player at least once in their career. That question has led to more stories than any other question on the planet. But how do you turn that question into an amazing story? That's a question we answer on our show, How to Be a Better DM. For those crazy individuals who want to pretend like they can control the story, How to Be a Better DM is the perfect place to learn how to dungeon master without spending extra money or extra time. You'll get tips and techniques to avoid the significant pitfalls of dungeon masters everywhere. We have episodes coming out every Thursday morning, and we can't wait for you to roll initiative with us. Go to betterdungeonmaster.com/knockedprone for more information.
Knocked Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
Last time on Knocked Prone.
Look, do you want our help or not? We're willing to go to Ethos Summit. I think it'll be a safe place for us to go, to regather what we need. I can take care of some business, and we can decide where to go from there.
Ethos Summit is a place of religious importance, right? I'd like to talk directly with my hammer if I can. Figure out exactly what's going on.
We have a lot of religious sites.
All right, I'm in.
I'm going to the Archivist's Tower. I need to stop Thorn.
It seems Moradin did more than whatever Thorn was able to do. I'll miss you, brother.
Whether you're a halfling, a giant, or somewhere in between,
round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Alright, so today we're going to be joining Grom and Selene on a duo adventure as Euphemia and Zag are going to the Archivist's Tower. You guys have just gotten picked up by the ferry. There are 4 fairies carrying each corner of this wooden platform on ropes on their backs, and they are flying with their dragonfly-like wings in the direction of Ethos Summit. What are you guys doing?
I'm assuming that I would like to be resting. I don't think we've gotten a full rest. Ethos Summit is like halfway across the continent.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and take a full rest during this time.
Throughout the ride and journey, I will be kind of distancing myself from Selene. I'll probably be kind of talking to my hammer. A bit like, I'm not expecting any actual like communication with Moradin or anything.
Hello? Are you in there?
And just like knock on it a few times and then I'd probably be Can I take time to train Avery?
You can go ahead and train Avery during this time. Go ahead and roll me an animal handling check to see how it goes. Avery's kind of just been hanging out with Finch and Celine's brothers.
13.
You make some good progress in solidifying some of the skills that she already has, but nothing new with a 13.
Fair enough.
Hey, thank you.
You're a good dog, Avery. I'm sorry that we haven't paid enough attention to you lately. Things have been a little crazy, but I promise. Have I ever told you about where I came from?
I don't think so.
It's like a camp. I used to keep sheep and different animals up on the mountainside. I think you'd quite enjoy it. I promise I'll take you there after we're done with our adventures.
Yeah, okay. I like sheep. I like chasing sheep.
Yes. Good dog.
That's adorable. That's so cute. So I'm going to say that at the beginning of this ride, I've been all enamored with Finch, still relatively recently engaged, also haven't seen him in a while, so we've been hanging out a bit. And honestly, it took me a while to notice Grom's coldness towards me and just being a little bit distant. But after I kind of stopped talking with Finch for a little bit and we take a bit of a break with our conversation and my awareness kind of grows around that, I'm gonna do the awkward scoot over to Grom. So, are you so excited to see the temple?
Yes, I've never really been to many holy places, so I'm looking forward to, I don't know, exploring. What about you?
I guess I'll be excited to get home and everything, but I've spent a lot of the time in the temples, so, nothing particularly new. I saw you were training Avery. That's so fun.
Yes, she's a good dog.
Are you mad at me?
I don't know. I used to like you quite a lot, 'cause you made me feel good and happy. The whole group, actually. But, I haven't felt as happy in the past few days. I feel sad and angry. I don't know what to do. Why do you kill people?
I haven't actually killed a lot of people. I know that I got that reputation pretty much the first day we met you, the butcher and everything. That's been a relatively new thing within the past week. But I'm guessing this has to do with your friends.
But you don't seem too bothered by the people you kill. And I get you said that you want to use war, but it's unfair, Selene. You can go around and kill people that you want, that I know, and it's okay. But when I'm mad at someone, I can't do it, and you get mad at me for wanting to.
Grom, had I have known that you didn't want me to kill those people, I wouldn't have done it. I didn't know.
I told you from the start that I don't like killing. And I have to go back to Brigaroon. I have to see their families. I have to know what I helped do, Selene.
I didn't mean to take away your freedom of choice in that situation, so I can be more of a team player as we move forward. I've never felt the need to defend myself before. I've never been attacked before. That was one of the first times that somebody had threatened my life. Grom, I feel confident that they were out to kill us. That in the end, it was going to result in death. I'm not bloodthirsty. I jumped to violence because I thought they were a more serious threat. Then I realized they were more weak pawns that maybe weren't all that deadly. But I felt like I could see their intentions, and I definitely saw the way they treated you. And I care about you, and Euphemia, and Zag. I feel loyal to you. I want to protect you with my own life. So when something that felt life-threatening came up, it felt like I couldn't just walk away.
I do understand caring, but I had handled them before. what about this? We have to ask before we kill.
I like that a lot.
All right.
I think that's a great solution, and we can tell Euphemia and Zag about it. It will help us all be a little more of a team player. I mean, let's be honest, we were never really meant to be together. I mean, maybe you and Zag, let's be honest. But we're all pretty different. We have different opinions, and I think it's a little hard to work together sometimes. So I think that's a great idea.
And if we knock them out first, we can always kill them after.
It's very true. I've never thought of that.
All right. I don't dislike you, Selene, but I do dislike some of the things you've done. I don't expect you to approve of everything I've done, but I hope we can remain friends.
Me too. Thank you for talking with me and answering my question.
Of course, and thank you for helping me discover more about, well, this, and I'll hold up the hammer.
So you guys continue on ferry, and you guys are able to get your full rest in. The ferries, knowing where you need to go, are going to take you to the base of Ethos Summit. The base of Ethos Summit is housed the main shrine of Moradin, built into a mountain right underneath the floating city of Ethos Summit, or at least where Ethos Summit currently is floating.
Before we get off the ferry, does the ferry do delivery service by chance?
Yeah, we can do delivery service. It'll cost you extra.
That's fine.
Okay.
I want to set aside 2,500 Badland credits, 4 bags of them, which I'll probably need Selene's help to count out. And then
I would like you to make 4 different deliveries. I'll offer 500 Badland credits for each. And
I'll hold out one of the bags.
This will go to Gutterug's family in Brigaroon. This will go to Vladrik's family in Brigaroon. This goes to Dolga's family and Elka's family.
And I'll hand over all 4 bags.
If you could deliver these to Gutterug and tell him that Grom is sorry about what happened and that this is for their families.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'll go to Brigaroon right away. Is there anything else you need from me?
No, I think that should be it.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for taking Ferry, and I hope you've had a fairly safe journey.
What does Ethos Summit look like?
So, you can't really see Ethos Summit. It's a large cloud hanging over this shrine. It's a floating city similarly to Great Grumbopolis, but it rests on top of a cloud instead of on top of a rainbow. And the cloud is fairly thick. It looks almost like a rain cloud, but all fluffy and white. Underneath the rain cloud, however, you see this large face inworked into the stone. That's mouth is like the entrance of this cave. It looks like the face of Moradin, and there's a large beard of cobblestone that leads up to Moradin's forge entrance.
This is quite the sight. It seems a bit difficult to get to. Have they ever thought about moving the city to the ground?
Oh, they very much like being out of reach and incapable of being, pretty much touched by anyone.
I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, we can just come right this way into the temple and walk through the doors, and we'll find you a place to maybe try to connect with Moradin and maybe get the chance to commune with him.
I like that. I don't know too much about him. I've just noticed a power from my hammer. I'm curious about what it is. We'll find answers inside, I'm sure of it.
I have confidence that we will.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
As you guys enter this shrine of Moradin, the first thing you notice is this musty smell of this old stone and ancient metal. There's dim light of century-old burning torches that illuminate this worn symbols and intricate carvings etched in these granite walls of this long hallway. The air inside of this forge entrance is thick as you continue downwards into the mountain, with the heat of the Earth's core ever increasing below you. As you step forward, a feeling of calmness washes over you as the two of you enter into the holy sanctum of Moradin's forge.
Oh, it feels like home.
I'm happy to hear you say that. I didn't realize that somewhere so homey would be so close to my own home.
It's like being back in Brigaroon. Smell of stone and metal, underground lighting. It's great.
Wonderful.
So you make your way through the forge, weaving in and out of the ghostly remains of dwarves of old have left. Abandoned anvils, hardened pools of lava, rusted over weapons littering the pathway. And then you find at the top of this crest-shaped room, a bright pool of lava is at the center. And you have a feeling that this is the great forge that was used by the god Moradin himself. As you look around Grom, you see that the forge is in somewhat of a state of disrepair. But you know, with Moradin's blessing and your hammer, that you might just be able to bring it back to life.
It doesn't look like many people have been here in the past while, but the forge is still lit.
I'll approach it and take out the hammer and just kind of...
I don't know if you're still in there, but I'm here in your forge. What do you want from me?
As you say this, a bright light envelops you and the hammer of Moradin that you wield. You feel the power of the god flow throughout you, and you feel this spirit of Moradin burst within you. And you can feel this spirit guiding you to commune with the god further, but in order to do so, you must begin the process of creating a holy hammer. Moradin's voice booms in the back of your mind.
Melt down my hammer and make one of your own in its place.
All right. I've never done this before, but I trust you.
And I'll take out my mom's hammer and say,
can I augment one of my own?
Of course. And may the spirit of the dwarves guide you.
I'll begin work. I will melt down his hammer, and I'd like to basically use, because this hammer that I got from my mom is mostly made out of stone.
Okay.
Rather than like a solid metal. And so but there's etchings and stuff in it, and so I want to fill the etchings, instead of being like carved into the stone, it's embossed with the metal essentially instead.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to cover the head of the hammer in just like a casing of the metal.
You begin working, like you said, and you're hammering this metal into shape and infusing it, both of your hammers, with the power of Moradin. With each strike of the forge hammer, you can feel your warhammer taking a life of its own. You feel not only the power of Moradin, but a power of your own that is coursing through both of these weapons, guiding it into this perfectly shaped mold that is perfectly molded to your hands. As you continue your work, you feel Moradin with you, waiting for you to ask what is on your mind.
I was supposed to give this hammer up for my mother. I got my power from your hammer. If I lose the hammer, do I lose you?
Your hammer comes from your belief in my beliefs as a god. As long as you stay within the morals and values of my teachings, my power will continue to flow throughout you.
And, what are those morals and values?
You already embody most of them, but to list them out, I guess, I require my champion to be an adamant defender of the dwarven people and the principles of law and good that we uphold. Loyalty to your clan, dwarven or non, and meeting adversity with stoicism and tenacity.
I think I can do that. What does tenacity mean?
Having a stone-like determination towards everything that you do.
I can do that. I've worked with stone most of my life. Speaking of my mom, I need to go save her. I've worked hard to gather up the money she needs for freedom. Where do I go next?
You will find your mother held in a Shadowfell prison which entrance is deep within the Underdark.
The Underdark. Alright. I've been there before. I think I can manage. One last thing. My soul. I was told that it was sold to a hag named Violet Tea. And I don't know what to do in order to get it back.
Typically with hags and Rakshasa alike, I am aware of this. Litzy is the name that you speak of, yes. They typically deal in dealings, and which is probably why a contract like this has fallen into their own hands. The best way to deal with a dealer is to make a deal of your own in place of that contract.
Alright. What do I have to do to keep this power? Do I just have to follow your rules? Am I indebted to you?
No. You're only indebted to the morals of our people. Making sure that your clan, the party that you travel with, is protected is all that I can ask of you. And go forth and spread the word of Moradin.
Alright.
After I'm finished making the hammer, I don't know, is Selene in here with me the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll kind of go and relay to her all that was told to me.
It seems pretty easy. I'm already doing most of the things he asked me to do, and keeping you guys safe is... Well, you do that pretty well yourselves anyway. I think this is good. It feels different than a lot of the other deals I've made before. I feel like he means what he says. He doesn't want anything from me. He's just helping.
He seems like a pretty good fit for you.
I liked him quite a bit. I guess I should have paid more attention to his studies in class. But I have now.
It's never too late to learn.
Yes, and look.
And I'll show her the hammer.
And as you hold it up, you notice that both of your hammers, now melded into one another, give off a much more powerful aura. You know that your hammers will guide you on your quest to be a savior for the people and your party, and you will make a fabled name for yourself as Grom, the champion. You feel the power of Moradin still with you, guiding you on your journey as his voice fades from the forge. Now, this hammer is a +2 magic one-handed warhammer.
Goodness, okay.
It deals 1d10 bludgeoning damage.
Goodness.
Plus 1d10 radiant damage.
Goodness. Okay.
A number of times a day equal to your proficiency bonus, you can use your action, praying to Moradin, to cause the hammer to glow very brightly, dealing 2d10 radiant damage to up to 5 enemies within 30 feet of you. And this ability will reset every sunrise.
Wait, on top, that radiant damage you just mentioned was on top of all the things you already mentioned?
No, so as an action, instead of doing your
attacking or something,
oh,
I just deal 2d10 radiant damage to 5 enemies within a radius.
Oh.
It's like a supernova.
Holy moly. You're gonna have to throw some hard stuff at us.
Dude, I'm ready.
I'm feeling
I'm
beefed
ready.
up. Marissa's definitely beefed up. Mason's beefed up. Is Alec okay? I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the stats of his character.
So you have melted down your mother's hammer and placed it on top of Moradin's hammer. You feel it just molded to yourself, not only through your family, but through your god.
I feel stronger. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when Zag blesses us, except stronger. It's like I've just drank fire whiskey.
I'm so happy for you, Grom. This is perfect.
You had things you wanted to do, right?
Yes, well, as long as you're ready, we can go up to Ethos Summit. I can show you where I'm from, and then we can hopefully be on our way back as quickly as we can.
I feel as ready as I'll ever be.
As you're exiting this long hallway, you see a lone figure is sitting on a stone bench at the end of this hallway. As you're approaching closer and closer, you notice that it is a fallen Aasimar, and she looks up at you with wise, knowing eyes as you approach, and says,
"Sister, it's been too long."
She says, her voice barely above a whisper,
"I've been waiting for you."
Do I recognize her to be Arya?
As you approach her closer, you do notice that she has many of the same facial features of Arya, however, with 50 years added on to her life.
Okay, well then I'll approach and I'll say, Arya? Is it you?
Selene, yes, it's me. I'm your sister. I caused our Titan to leave the city at a young age, and without Taurus to guide the Aasimar, the city has fallen into chaos. I've made a lot of wrongs in the world.
Arya, what happened to you? Why have you aged? And you've gotten worse. You're completely fallen.
This sounds extraterrestrial. I come from the future to right some of my wrongs.
Oh.
You don't have to believe me. I don't know how to tell you any other way.
I want to prove it. My first thought is to be like,
what's our mom's name? What's my favorite movie?
No, I was gonna say, what's the movie that's like, what song? Oh no, it's Megamind. What song did you sing to me on my 5th birthday? Or wait, is that Megamind? It's Elf. Yeah. Wrong. Anyways.
Will Ferrell, both movies.
Yeah.
So Will Ferrell adjacent.
Can I roll an insight check?
Yeah, of course.
21.
There you go.
Okay, with a 21 insight, you are able to tell that she is telling the truth. Whether it be by a wish spell or some type of futuristic technology, you don't know. But this is your sister that is standing in front of you.
So you don't get better. Do we ever become friends again? Do we get to spend time together?
In my time, we don't get better. But I didn't have me to come back and fix things.
So things could be different.
I'm hoping that things will be different. That was my hope in coming back. To save not only our people, but our relationship, Selene.
Tell me how to help.
Today, the Aasimar people are deciding to hold an election for a new leader. Since the council has gone from the Aasimar people, the people are currently in utter chaos. And the only person who's currently running is an Aasimar woman named Helena. Helena was once working with me when I was younger, and we plotted to get Taurus out of the city, and the people no longer trust Taurus. And so even though Taurus comes back today, it's not enough to stop the Aasimar people from descending into chaos. But I have come to stop Helena before she could cause the trouble that she causes for our people in the future. Helena's made a deal with powerful demons and is planning to use this election to gain control of the city and bring about its downfall. I'm afraid, in my time, Ethos Summit is no longer a bustling, floating city filled with light and hope, but is instead an echo of the past. Tragic deaths become a norm. Worship of God and devotion to Lathander dwindle, and worship of a new god named Thorn becomes commonplace. The absence of faith has currently and will continue to have a profound effect on our people, causing all of us to eventually fall. Taurus, as the son of Lathander, will not be trusted by the Aasimar people. They're already too gone. They need a leader from inside the city who they can trust to struggle to maintain our way of light and to regain our sense of what is right and wrong in the world, and hope that we could find guidance in a person. Things are crumbling up there. Crime and despair run amok throughout the streets.
So is Arya wanting Taurus to become the leader instead of Helena?
Unfortunately, with the state of the Aasimar being so fallen, it isn't possible anymore for Taurus to lead the people. Arya is wanting Taurus potentially to help choose a new leader. However, a new leader amongst the Aasimar people must be chosen. This election sounds like it's taking place regardless of whether Taurus is there or not. As you last left Taurus, you knew that he was going back to Ethos Summit. So it seems that even with Taurus there, people still don't believe in Lathander enough to give him the power and authority in order to choose the new leader.
So Taurus is there.
Taurus is there, but is not being listened to because people worship Thorn instead of Lathander now.
All right, well, I think I can do that. Thank you for caring enough to come all the way back here. By God's knows what methods.
It was hard to get back here, but I'm hoping that it'll be worth it in the end. That I can make a change. I can fix what I broke.
And I'm gonna give her a big hug, gently squeezing her old lady body.
Arya gestures to you, Grom, to latch onto her in order to fly up to Ethos Summit.
I'll look at Selene.
I'm gonna give him a little bit of look and a nod and put my arms out instead. Scoop you up off your feet, princess style, and then fly away.
Hang on to the neck and I'm flying. I'm really flying.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
So you fly to the council hall of Ethos Summit, flying over the beautiful Aasimar city, knowing that you need to take the tour after probably this election is stopped. You guys sit at these massive double doors of this election hall. What are you doing?
I'm rearing to go, so I'm just going to burst through the doors, not even really thinking about, I don't know, how people will take the climate of the room with me being gone for a while, and Grom being with me, and Arya, the fallen Aasimar, old lady by my side.
So as you burst into this room, you see rows upon rows of pews filled with the entirety of the Aasimar population, and at the front of this grand hall is a stage with two pulpits, each of which who stands in front of Helena, the fallen Aasimar, and on the other pulpit is Taurus, this demigod. And as you look out amongst the crowd, you notice that 3/4, if not more, of these Aasimar are fallen.
Completely fallen.
Completely fallen.
All right. Are they just doing a debate right now, or speeches?
Yes. They are talking about trying to determine the morality between sticking with the old ways or paving a new path. Taurus is a proponent of the old ways and his father's ways, and Helena is trying to propose her new plan of action. And you can tell by the words that Arya told you, this plan of action has seeds of corruption sowed throughout it.
Okay, so just a little bit of Selene's internal dialogue right now. I get good vibes from Taurus. I have this whole time, but I don't actually know him as a being.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I have distrust and major rage towards Lathander.
Right.
But going off of what Arya has told me, I feel like obviously I have no choice. So I'm going to go all in on, even though it feels a little bit risky to me, because I'm kind of rooting for somebody that I feel like I don't have honestly total confidence in. But like I said, I'm going for it. As I walk to the end of the room where Helena and Taurus are speaking, I'm just going to march straight to the front of the room because I feel that I have no time to waste and say, everybody, I have new information that's going to matter in today's election. So please listen carefully. From what I understand, some of the issue around here, people around here don't believe that Lathander exists because you don't have evidence, because you felt like he hasn't been here. As somebody who has been a devout Lathander worshiper for her entire life, and as much as the old me wants to scream at you that you're wrong, I'm here to say you are partially right. Where you're wrong is that Lathander exists. Well, he did exist. I saw him, as well as a couple tens of thousands of people, just earlier today. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you go down to Greyhaven, you can ask anybody on the street, and they will tell you that Lathander is real. Where you are right is choosing to not trust him, and for no longer wanting to worship him anymore. While Lathander was real, he was corrupt. He didn't care about our people. He didn't seem to care about anybody. And for that reason, you're right for not communing with him anymore. You're right for it. He hasn't supported our people in hundreds of years. Here's the reason why this matters. Before you today, you have Taurus, Lathander's son. And I know that most of you must be interested in this Helena woman, who I don't believe to be trustworthy. There is one person that I do think is trustworthy, and that's Finch. Finch has had the adventure of a lifetime with me and some of my new friends, and it's been a bit of a wild ride, but it's been through that experience that I feel confident he can handle what we have here in Ethos Summit. He is intelligent and capable in so many ways, and I think that here, as a leader, he will thrive. I know he has good moral character, and he cares about our people, and we can keep him accountable, because he's not away. He's not in the sky, he's here. And if it's a mistake, I'll stake my own life on it. And as I say that, I'm like, what the heck, Selene?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion roll with advantage, as I assume that Grom is providing the help action to you.
Yeah.
17.
A 17. All right. So, as you look around, you notice that the majority of the faces in this room are nodding in agreement, including the fallen Aasimar that seemingly would have this vested interest in Helena. Selene, I don't know what to say.
Well, do you think you could do it?
I have to do this. If I can be a part of our people coming together, I have to try. But that means that I'll have to stay here in Ethos Summit and...
Finch, I'll always be back. I won't be gone for long.
I love you, Selene. You're needed out there in the world right now. You're a skilled adventurer and a protector of the people. I will have to be here, doing my best to protect our people from corruption that threatens to destroy us inside these walls, while you help outside of the walls.
You're not breaking up with me, are you?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not breaking up with you. Please don't break up with me. I want you to go out and do great things. Protect the people and fight for what's right. I didn't realize it until now, but I'm gonna miss being out in the field with you, Selene. Even though you're much more equipped for the dangers and thrills that the world has to offer, it's gonna be different now. Like, a part of me will be missing, as I'm just here. Doing what?
Saving our people. You're gonna have great significance here. You're gonna do so much, and I'll be doing a lot too, just not here. And that's okay, I'll be back.
Okay. Promise me one thing, Selene. You'll call me every day on your rune crystal phone, and give me updates on what you're doing out in the world to make the world a better place, so that it'll help me not feel so lonely at this, well, boring desk job.
Done. It's been fun to adventure with you.
I love you, Selene.
I love you too.
With that, Finch turns away and walks into the crowd as they are cheering and shaking his hands, leaving the two of you alone in the archway of this room. You hear the whirring of the Titan ship outside as both of you know that Zag and Euphemia have just arrived to take you on your next adventure. And as you are about to leave, you watch as the young Arya breaks in through the doorway to try and stop this election as well. And you see the old Arya standing next to Selene, this elderly fallen Aasimar, wither into dust and nothingness. And that's where we're going to end our episode for the night. My name is Cade, the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. And I'm joined here by the players.
Mason playing Grom.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Go on over to patreon.com/knocked and check out our tiers. We currently have a free tier for the $5 tier that you can sign up for a week worth of free trial. So go check that out. Again, that's patreon.com/knocked.
So join the ranks of our incredible patrons, including
Arison Pistachio and Ograd the Unknown. adventurers who were considering running in opposition to Helena but lacked the ability to fly up to Ethos Summit. Dean the Destroyer, Tiefling Swordsbard, and Poe, the party who went to Moradin's Forge without a hammer to augment, and left the holy site feeling less convicted in the Dwarven God. Riss, Just Riss, Janlan, and Dakota Storm, Helena's secret fan club, who were outnumbered in their attempts to oppose Finch being put into office. Katya Yamakawa and Keystrom, interns for the Fairy, who show their dedication to the company by carrying a group of adventurers with just the two of them. Sure, they scrape past a few trees, but they claim it's the scenic route. And finally, Kelric Bigfur, a Satyr news reporter who wants to remind you to listen to Talked Prone. Thank you so much for your patronage. It truly means the world. Stick around after the episode for a short blooper reel that I have left in of jokes that I just didn't have the heart to cut out. And we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you gotta do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Sorry, I just imagine just like some poor soul at our mercy, and it's like, can I kill him? And I can
I'm actually so excited. This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be amazing. Can you imagine?
And if we knock them out first, we can always kill them after.
It's very true. I've never thought of that.
Pan to Selene with a chloroform rag. My whole brain is crying.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.